sparkling in pools of gold. This is the Guild of Dungeoneering. All the monsters keep appearing. Oh, to be a Dungeoneer, whose stories will be told. What's that sound? I hear a noise. Something's coming, girls and boys. Run for the hills and far away. For the Guild of Dungeoneering. Curse and swear, but don't despair. The way out of here must be over there. I think we're lost, but what do we care? We're the Guild of Dungeoneering.
Hey everyone, it's Apache here and welcome to Guild of Dungeoneering. I love this game. I've been wanting to play this for a long time. I played it originally very early on in its development, and now I've been able to get hold of the full game. There are some updates for it now, some DLCs, Ice Cream Headaches and Pirates Cove, but this at the moment is the vanilla game, and we're going to play through this, and once we've done the vanilla game we'll go on to some of the DLCs. This game, a couple of things just before we begin. There's a narrator, a bard or a narrator that kind of talks all the way through. I'll shut up while he's talking because the witticisms in this game are brilliant. Kind of witty comedy is what really makes the game, and the bard is a really good character in this. So I don't want to spoil that by talking over it. So as much as I can, I will shut up while he's talking. Also, before we begin, I'm just going to lower down the music volume on this, because although the music is brilliant, it is very loud. I have played about 5 minutes just to make sure all the levels are right, and I wanted to get that bit in at the beginning. And so, we can start a new game. You can see I've started it, but I haven't got any Dungeoneers or anything. I was just making sure the levels are okay. So we'll overwrite this one, and we'll get straight into it.
This is the Guild of Dungeoneering. All across the land they're cheering, oh, to be a Dungeoneer, chasing fame and glory.
The Ivory League of Explorers, the most noblest, most virtuous guild in all the land. Puff, those insufferable jerks. I'll show them. They won't think me so grossly incompetent when I have my own guild, will they? I bought a small hall in a bad part of town with the gold I borrowed from them. Yes, we'll call it borrowing. I've staked out a dungeon that's ripe for the picking. I've even found a chump who'll do all the dirty work for me while I sit back and watch all the coins roll in. Like my father always told me, there's always someone stupider than yourself. Well, he never really said that to me, and actually he said it to everyone but me. Hey, wait a minute. Sorry for the stupid accents, but I love trying to put them into this game. So, we need to hire some Dungeoneers, so let's build a barracks. This is our first room here. This is a card-based game. It's essentially a deck-building game, but you start off from 0 at the beginning of every fight, or beginning of every dungeon. The hall here, you can see we've got this barracks card, and if we click and drag it we can place it in any one of these free spaces, and I think the barracks I will want to push up to the north here.
The one that's always left behind, the solitary lump, the pawn who's fodder for the grind, the sorry little chump.
And so we have our first Dungeoneer. This is a chump called Slinden, or we can click on it and we can actually change his name. And of course I'm going to change him to Apache. Apparently you can't put capital letters in these. Ah yes you can, there you go. So we changed his name to Apache. And so I am going to be going off on my first mission in this first episode. You can expand your guild and gain new Dungeoneers and abilities. But first, try going on an adventure. And so, with nothing else to do, we have to go exploring. And so, for our first mission, of course, we will be going off fighting rats in a cellar. It's always the first mission you do. So, this game reminds me of Munchkin, or something along that lines. It's kind of a Mickey take on Dungeons and Dragons and that kind of game. So we will enter the dungeon. It's going to show us the first turn of this now. It's going to go through what we need to do. So it goes through it quite quickly though. So first of all, I'll show you what it's doing now. It's placing a room card onto the map, and then it places a monster card onto the map, and then it places a coin card onto the map. And now your guy will head towards the gold as much as possible, or head into fights. And they gain traits and stuff along the way. And this is where the deck comes into it now. So you can see this rubber ducky has played a card called which is part of the stupidity line. It has a trait called stupidity, which gives it this card basically. And I am a chump, so I get some of these cards as my starting deck, and I will be able to add to this deck throughout the game as I gain new traits and abilities. Just to tell you the basics of this, this is physical attack, this symbol here. A blue punch symbol would be a magical attack. The shields are blocking, so that is physical and magical again with the red and blue. I don't know what traits this has. You can't actually click on it to find out either while you're in battle with it. So it's doing nothing this turn, so I'm just going to hit it for 2 damage. So now it's going to hit me for 2 damage with a headbutt, but it's also going to lose 1 health as well due to it headbutting me. And so I can actually kill this in 1 turn because it's going to lose 1, so if I deal 1 more damage to it, then that will kill it. Self-inflicted damage. And now at the end of every fight we get to gain some loot. So this will be able to build up a character and actually give us more cards in our deck. And so this wooden board, I thought you could click on them and it would show you what it gave. But anyway, we got a wooden board in our offhand. We can see that actually gave us armor 1. So it gave us another card in the armor range. So now we get to place in different cards. We can place in room cards and monster cards. You can only place monster cards in empty rooms and a room that you're not currently in. But we want to go towards some monsters, so I'm going to put a room here. You can see the idea of this mission is to defeat 2 more monsters. And so I can actually speed up the process a little bit more by adding 1 of these in. And so we have 2 nasty rats there, and we have a giant bat here. And so I'm going to place in a giant bat there, and I'm going to click on end turn. You can place up to 3 cards per turn. If you don't place 3 cards, then you have to press end turn. And so this symbol here is unblockable attack. It means that this single damage will go through no matter what I do. That offhand I gained gave me this card with repel. You can see armor 1 here, and which blocks 3 physical damage. It's actually a pretty powerful card, but it's no use in this case. So I'm going to do a lucky hit for 2 damage. It's going to do 1 magical damage, and per damage it deals, it's going to gain 1 health. And so I don't want it to do that, so I'm going to cower and block the attack, stopping it from being able to heal. I'm going to waste 1 of these cards here because it can block. And I'd really like to block this one as well, but I can't. So, and again, this one's unblockable. So all I can do is attack it, and this is actually going to be a fairly close fight here. I might actually die in the very first fight, which wouldn't be good. And he has an unblockable attack. So I've just died. In my very first fight, in my very first playthrough of this game, we have died.
We always know they have no chance.
So that's how this game goes.
Especially when they wet their pants. But in the end, the guild survives. Hurrah! Hurrah! Hooray!
Should we try that again? We have a bonus of a graveyard that we can place. Excellent. And we gain 6 gold from exploring the map. So we get to return to the guild. And we get to place our graveyard. I suppose we get this in early. I was hoping I could place it down here. Damn. We'll place that up at the back, I think.
Although this guild seems very grand, a dungeoneer's life can sometimes be hard. Not always going as they might have planned. They mostly end up in this graveyard.
So, sorry Apache, you were the first of many people to die in this playthrough. We have a new chump though, called Daikina. I might as well keep that name for now. I don't think she'll be lasting for long. So yeah, we have a new chump. We can't actually buy anything for the guild. There's this expand guild here where you can purchase lots of different things. But we need to go off exploring. Should we try that again? Let's give it one more try. So we'll go straight in. And I think it will give us the tutorial bit again. So let's just watch this one through, and it'll beat the first bite for us. So I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to try and do something a little bit different in this run. The kind of holding back on attacks didn't quite work, so I think I'm going to need to be a bit more aggressive on how I play. I think trying to deal as much damage is probably the best way. There was also something in that where I couldn't actually really decide which one of these to choose. And so I know now that you don't click on them. I thought you could, but for now I'm going to go with this twig as a weapon, because I think I need more offense. So the twig gives me Crush 1, so we'll see when that card comes out what it is. And I have a skill of, yes, this is the card, Bash. So it's 1 attack and 1 block. That's not too bad. Allows me to mitigate some damage at least. So I'm going to put this one in here. I'm not going to put the giant bat in, I'm going to put the nasty rat in instead. Ah, that was a fountain. Now these fountains give you various different things. There's good ones and bad ones. You'll know the good ones because they are yellow or orange, and the bad ones are red, the same colour as the background of these. So this Fountain of Heroism gives me +1 hit point per damage blocked in the next fight, which is amazing. And so I'm going to put this nasty rat into this room, and we will head on through. So it's going to claw me for 1 damage, so I will lucky hit it for 2. I'll try and go through the fights as relatively fast so that we can get through as much as we can. This is an unblockable attack, so I'm just going to punch it. And this, if it is successful, I discard 1 card. But I'm happy to do that with those 2. And this is another unblockable attack, so I might as well kill it off. So these fights are quite close at the beginning until you get geared up. So we have a paper crown, which is Holy Seal, per blocked or per damage blocked I gain a health. This is the repel that we saw before, and this is a fork that gives me slice as a weapon. Excuse me. Gives me slice as a weapon, dealing 2 damage. I think I want to be able to heal up. And so we have some silver coins here. So I only need to defeat one more monster. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put the coins in this room, and I'm going to put a nasty rat in as well. And so he should go towards this this one now. So if I click on enter, we can change his direction from up here to there. Or her direction, I should say, sorry. So an unblockable attack isn't going to do anything, so I'll hit it for 2. Another unblockable attack, so I will hit it for 1. If it's successful, I will discard a card. I'm going to block that one to gain back 2 health. And this is just a regular attack, so I will take that damage and attack it once. And now I can kill it off with that one. So yay, we have actually finished our first mission.
Here's to you, young Dungeoneer. You stood your ground and acted very brave. But how long before you feel the fear? And how long before you're in your grave?
That's not very nice. Hopefully she'll stay for a long time. Pow! Piece of cake. Walked through the park, hardly broke a sweat. So easy. In fact, your Dungeoneer probably doesn't... hang on. So easy, in fact, but your Dungeoneer can't possibly expect to be paid, can they? Take that loot for your guild funds and make them earn their dinner. I find this font a little bit hard to read sometimes. So we got a total of 59 gold. 50 of that was a quest bonus, and we gained a new battle scar of Gullible. So every dungeon they go through, they gain a battle scar, or have a possibility of gaining a battle scar. So this isn't a very good one. One loot choice is of a lower level than normal. Early stage. So we're not going to get as good loot with this chump. And so with that, I think we want to actually gain a different type of Dungeoneer. So if we go to expand guilds here, we can choose between, there's a cat burglar, this is a talisman, there's a bruiser, this is another talisman. The talismans give you blessings throughout each dungeon. So we can, if we click on this one, you can see +1 starting hand size in battle for the first 2 fights of each dungeon. I think I want to have a look at this cat burglar. You can see their starting deck here. Pounce is unblockable, Scratch is a quick attack, so that I attack first. And then these catnips add 1 to the damage in the next time I attack. So I think this might be quite good. And Covetous gives me +1 loot choice slot as well. So yeah, I quite like cat burglar. And so we get to add in the hidden gem, or the hidden den. So we get Stanley the cat burglar.
Up until now, we've all had some fun, and you could say you've come very far. But brace yourself for some woeful cat puns. Now that we have a cat burglar. Meow.
Oh great. The puns and the jokes are only going to get worse. However, we have got our new guy. We're going to leave it here for this first episode. I hope you enjoyed this. Please give me some love on this video. I really enjoy playing this game. I'm going to try and do quite a long playthrough of it, including all the DLCs. So yeah, thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe on the video and to the channel, and I will see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting me by subscribing to the channel and liking and commenting on the videos. Thanks. See you next time.